Thank you very much. People are coming. I know it's very heavy to be here on Saturday morning. And I try to make my presentation not too painful. What I would like to show you is we got recently a new office for all of us, and I want to update especially our worker where we are living now and what we see from our window. So you have to know that from our window we have the same view of the house of Magritte, because the house of Magritte is 2.9 kilometers from our hospital. This is in Jette. These are the two addresses. And actually you can see from your window if you know where he is. And I can see the paint from Magritte has the same clouds that we see every day from our window. So you should consider this as an advantage, because in the paint, the most famous where there is a pipe, then you see in French you say this is not a pipe. And actually this is the principle of Aristotelic way to process a scientific discovery, because the reduction ab absurdum is the way that we process now, and in a scientific way, our hypothesis, and we get on our research progress. So that's actually, this is a kind of connection we have with this paint that was from Brussels, and is also something that we decide to give as a present to our faculty today. HRMC, Art Management Center, is our department, and was founded by Professor Brugada, and I had the privilege to be the first fellow in Brussels. And when nobody knows what fellow was, that I was faced with people calling me kind of aliens. But anyway, that's a long time ago, because it was 20 years ago. That is growing, keep growing, thanks to all of you, thanks to the efforts of all of you. And that's, I'm very thankful for this, and thank you to work in this such environment and very exciting place and inspiring. Just for the one that they are not, because today we are talking about bioengineering. Maybe not everybody know about EP. EP is, we are the electrician of the heart, just summarize like that. Interventional cardiologists are being to be the locator of the heart. I mean, the plumber of the heart, sorry, and we are the electrician. These are the challenges typical in electrophysiology. That is our specialty. And because this challenging cannot be solved all by a doctor, because doctor, they think they're very intelligent, but they show more than what they are. We decide to open a research group that can include and anyway collaborate with bioengineering knowledge, and that we have, of course, acquired in our center. Ali Garaviri is the director of our bioengineering program. And also, that was the reason why we opened this Heart Treatment Research Brussels. That is our university research center, englobate actually is our presence of the university, and Heart Treatment Management Center was our presence in the university hospital. So they are the same, they are the different face of the same coin. So we are widening our knowledge, and we try to understand better, and we open our challenge in a large way thanks to the fact and to help of other figure, because we do believe that there are three crucial people around the patient to solve arrhythmia problem, that they are the nurses, the electrophysiologist, and bioengineer medical that he will support for a technological point of view. So we are opening more and more to train all these three figures in our program, and that is how we see a little bit, let's say, if you allow me Saturday, I can see a little bit big, our program, and that was started by Professor Brugada in the time with a postgraduate for cardioelectrophysiologists. We are opening this same program in parallel, actually emerging together for biomedical engineering, that they can be trained together with a cardiologist. And then we are coming also for the nurses' point of view later. These are our people around. There is a special heart of a Japan side, because we have a special connection with Japan and a longer commitment. And most all the countries are covered. Of course, UK and United States have the internal program of EP, so we do not have fellow for these two countries. But in the US, we have this nice collaboration with the University of Minnesota. They will be explained even later on. So what we do many stuff. We work a lot in 3D printing. We start in a small room. The people maybe will show even later. And there was very Italian move in the beginning, and more and more. But now we are more international. But the first move of the 3D printing was a full female and Italian move. It was this girl that was sent by ULB to do the smartest thesis. and one actually even complete the PhD and now has a very nice position in the company. And you can enjoy her thesis on our table as a present for you if you want to read over. The 3D printing, we do not have space, but we have a machine, we have support. We try still to push them inside our facility, but we are waiting for a dedicated facility for our 3D program. And collaborating with that, we just won an European grant for building together with Barcelona and Toulouse and training center for with simulation for European level for doctors to be trained in any kind of medical device, supporting innovation way to teach. That is the propensity-based core. Now, just to go through some pictures to enjoy what our testing between when the cath lab is closed and the patient are not there anymore, we do use our cath lab to do bench testing and try to develop new tools. And I go over, you see, in this picture you can see doctor, surgeons, biomedical engineer, anybody working together to try to figure out the testing of device, but also to figure out a new way to measure and recording. A big collaboration with University of Minnesota. There is something fascinating happening in Minneapolis, and I was bring to the place where they make a sculpture out of butter. As you see the first picture there. And that's a big connection with Belgium because Belgium use a lot of butter. I mean, I come from Italy, we use a lot of olive oil, but in Belgium butter is very based on our food. So even in Minneapolis went over, so they even make sculpture out of butter. If you see this on the left side, there is a cell, is a fridge. The poor girl was with the 2 coats sitting there and get a modeling for the sculpture that the guy was grading out of the butter block. Now she can get all block for herself and bring home. I don't know what they do with that because you can make cake for whole village. But anyway, another side you see the beautiful lab in Minneapolis where we collaborate. And of course, it's always Luigi that want to try first the tool and he's always there in the first line. And you see is try to new catheter on this animal model. Again, our animal lab, it's almost ready. In Brussels, we are finalized the internal working. Then is coming soon. It's a question of few months because we miss the part inside, and I will very positive. And I will leave you for the beginning of this Congress with one citation. This is the book. I don't know if anybody ever read this book. Is from Russian literature. Oblomov is very famous from 1858. I don't know why it's going on this slide. Can we stop the going on and going back? Can we stay here? Okay. So why I talk about this book? I will not go through all Romans because it's very nice. It's the noble guys that living in this house, and it's kind of, if you want to make a parallelism that you know more, is about the imaginary, like a Molière, the malade imaginaire, and it's a guy that living in his house and use the excuse of a health problem to do not do anything. But it's a way to react on the fact that Russia in 1800 was full of corruption, was not going on. And there was these noble people that came up. They went in Europe to learn new technology, in Germany, in France and everything. They learned French, they learned everything. And they came back to Russia. The Russia was still behind and they have all these properties. So the point is that this guy, one day a doctor visited him. And what I want to show you in this is the advice of this doctor in 1859, there was wrote a book, let's say in 1850, was the advice of this doctor of this guy that has a heart problem. And I find it very fascinating because the advice of this doctor, after he spent 5 minutes concentrate to feel his pulse, if you see, give me your wrist. So he take his heart rate, and then Oblomov start to talk about his economical problem. Let's say, wait a moment, take the pulse, and then the advice that he give it, and I find super beautiful, is that I don't care. I mean, it's not my business, your economical problem. And of course, I think you have enough money because you should go and must have a fresh air. That is his medical advice. And then you must do something. So you should do something, and you should go to Kissingen, to Herms. So there are places in Germany, Switzerland, where there is a thermal bath. And then you should do between June and July, because then you should search some thermal place to enjoy, and then maybe go to Tyrol. That is also was a place where there is fresh air and good air. That was the doctor advised the patient. And then you should do the grape cure. That was a fresh. And then you should, in September, October, you should go somewhere else. And maybe you should find, and then the patient say, but why I should go to Tyrol? No, then eventually in the summer, you should go in a dry place. Let's go to Egypt, or anyway, southern, to get a good weather and dry yourself. And then, of course, the patient asked immediately, but can I eat everything? And of course, the main problem was that, yes, you can eat everything, but you should avoid, of course, wild animal and fry and all this heavy stuff. But the one that I love the most is this one. So, and finally, the doctor conclude, go to Paris for winter, where surrounded by whirlpool and gating. You will be best able to distract your mind from habitual brooding, cultivate theater, ball, masquerade, and the street, and straight friend, noise, and laughter, and engage in a pleasant conversation with a lovely lady can rise your heart rate in a healthy way. So I leave you to this Congress. That's what we advise to the patient in 1800. We should not stop to do that. We should add some scientific value on it, but I think it was a very good advice. Thank you very much, and let's start.